Welcome back, folks. 皆さん、お帰りなさい。今日は287、7日目です。Today is day 287. We started our new unit, Unit 75. Lots and lots of proper nouns describing the city. Basically getting a lot of city names. Was very fun to try to figure out if we can attach any type of meaning to all the characters, largely due to the nature that when you're naming something, it doesn't necessarily have to line up with what they literally are, right? There are some cities that do. And a personal favorite is probably Ikebukuro. Turned out to be Ike and Bukuro. And due to the limited meaning that I have with those characters, turned out to be something very memorable. Maybe maybe ironically memorable, right? A little bit tired today. Try to keep vigilant. Definitely need to rest a little bit better. Starting these things a little bit more tired each day. All right, let's hop in to our recall. Unit 75. Okay. Shibuya. Kosaden. Ah. That's not quite the short quarter. That's okay. Actually, Kosaten. 10. Harajuku. Harajuku. Oops. Akihabara. Akihabara. Meito. Cosplay. Shinjuku. Ikebukuro. Yamanote. Yamanote. Sen. Right. Noru. Men. Me? Men? Men suru. Men shiteru. Yes. Men suru. Totally missed that. Ginza. Ginza. Sarariman. Sarariman. I felt like I joined a cult. Everyone at the theater last night was an absolute ravenous fan. They were yelling at the movie the entire time, throwing spoons and calling the main antagonist lady a explicit. Wait. What is it that you go watch? A harlot. Oh, Tommy Wasa seemed perpetually drunk during the Q&A, and I got to fist bump him and got some pics. He signed a t-shirt that you bought. 10 out of 10 would go again. Dang. That sounds like a hoot and a half. But what you described kind of reminds me of Rocky Picture Horror Show. The Rocky Picture Horror Show, the annual thing where people go during Halloween and they basically jeer and throw stuff and have a blast. I went to one of those once back in my youth. Minus the, obviously, minus the director. There are places that have like host for them as well. So, like the organizers and whatnot. Hadaraku. Hadaraku. Sounds like you enjoyed yourself. Sounds fantastic. Ginza. Ginza. Haru. Hiroshima. Hiroshima. Hiroba. 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 Basho. It's great, glad that you went. Just now entering the final chapter like a dragon. How does it keep getting spicier? Oh man. Wait. Let me think. First chapter. Man. The ending though. The ending, Valentine. And then the ending song. Oh man. Boy. Sorry, a little hype. We'll play again. I'm thinking about it even as though I played it yesterday. And you have to keep in mind, I played it twice. At least twice, the MSQ. Oh, actually I played it. Might have been 3. Largely due to the double audio. Basho. Still fresh in my mind. Oh. Let's see. It was such an underrated game. You do you mean I forgot to read on this. No, Atsu. So Atsumari. Atsumari. You're super hype. It's such an incredible game. Yeah. I'm starting to have flashbacks to the ending to Infinite Wealth too. Jeez. This one I forgot yesterday. Like in the end thing, and I remembered when I was practicing. It's Calmant. Oops. Kazu. Inko. Oh. Got about Daitoshi and Shuto. Jinko. Ueru. Ueru and Heru. No, that's not it. Heru. In its relation to Onaka. There's something else. No. Yep. That's it for unit 75. We'll see if there are things I left behind. There's probably a few things here and there. Wasn't too bad. Lots of the cities kind of have associated meaning. Like I associate the intersection with Shibuya, right? Lines. Isn't like a train line. Oh, like metro. Okay. Units 74. This one's pretty short. Unit 74. Start in the center. 試合 Oops. Just kidding. No, wait. What am I doing? Oh, it's fine. Wait a minute. Oh no, I think I wrote the wrong character. I wrote the wrong character yesterday. I'm not sure. Did it have a line? I'll have to double check this. I think I might have wrote the wrong character yesterday. Yeah, I'm not sure about this top line right here. It might just be... No, no, it's missing. It's missing a line. There is a chance I might have written the wrong one. Okay. Go, 初心者. Oh. Densetsu. Densetsu. Zelda no. Oh, I might have written the incorrectly as well. The last 2 days. Janken in Pon. Janken. Right. Because Pon, I was writing it this way, right? Oh, but then there's a chance I wrote this way, which Pon this way. Probably. To Choki. You cannot find a follow button on profiles? You have to search. It's the bottom right. You have to actually like search. Oh, and you have to click on the person's profile, and then you have to the follow buttons under the person's profile. レベル。レベル。Oops. That is not the character. Ugh. Takasugiru. And ooh. Right. Wait. Eh. Boss. Oh no. What is this thing to the right? The button is there for people you already follow, but you can't follow anyone new. It's not missing from mobile. Oh, okay. Weird. Oh no. Taosu. I'm missing the right radical of Taosu. Konnichiwa. Can't read out of those characters at the moment. Oh, Taosu is probably... Yes. Taosu. Katsu. Makeru. Tokui. Nigate. Saisho. Yeah, that's 74. Okay. Let's get back into section. Back to unit 75. This is a long one. Not too bad. They stick to simple sentences. Largely due to introducing a lot of proper nouns.
Shibuya. Shibuya. あなたの家にメイドはいますか?
あなたの家にはね?
あなたの家にメイドはいますか?
家にメイ ドは、
あなたの家にメイドはいますか？
メイド。Oh,
メイド
that type of maid. Yeah, メイド
か
がいます。
ます。
は、
は、か、
いますか？ We're not going to talk about what I was thinking.
渋谷。
原宿の駅はどこにありますか？
原宿駅。
原宿の駅はどこにありますか？
の駅。
のはどこ
どこありますか？どこに
ありますか？
秋葉原で新しいスマホを買いました。
秋葉原で新しいスマホを買いました。Thanks, Nojo.
月曜日に渋谷で買い物をしました。
買い物をしました。
月曜日。
月曜日渋谷で買い物をしました。Wait.
月曜日に渋谷で買い物をしました。月曜日に渋谷で買い物をしました。
Oh, right.
で
Makes sense. 月曜日に渋谷で買い物をしました。
メイド
は朝ごはんを作りました。作りました。A sense, but I was looking for what form of speech they went with 作りました。
ご飯を作また。
秋葉原は東京にあります。
秋葉原は東京にあります。
渋谷にはデパートがたくさんあります。渋谷はデパートがたくさんあります。には渋谷にはデパートがたくさんあります。
秋葉原にはメイドカフェがあります。
秋葉原にはメイドカフェがあります。秋葉原にはメイドカフェがあります。
原宿は渋谷の隣の駅です。原宿は渋谷の隣の駅です。原宿は渋谷の隣の駅です。
原宿は渋谷の隣の駅です。原宿3日間紅茶作りました。渋谷
メイドは朝ごはんを作りました。
メイドは朝ごはん 朝ごはんを作りました。Just the reverse for translation purposes.
原宿、
南、
南曜日、
渋谷、大学。
大学、
原宿の駅、駅はどこですか？
原宿の駅はどこ？
どこありますか？
ありますか？
どこにありますか？ Fair enough. Wait, what did I say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. どこにありますか？ That's fine. 秋葉原は東京にあります。
あります。原宿
は渋谷の隣の駅です。Okay. They're pretty short sentences. And then they keep swapping out the different cities and whatnot. So it's really about the cities, outside of a few nouns here and there. 交差点。交差点はどちらですか？
どっちですか？
新宿のカフェで会いました。
新宿のカフェで会いました。
週末はコスプレをします。
交差点のそばを通りました。
交差点の交差点のそばをね。
交差点のそばを通りました。
通りました。I should really include Oh, I did it again. I was looking for my notepad and I immediately hit the I was looking for my notepad so I can write this and I immediately hit the calculator. Oh, there. Xie加油. Body. Say what? I hope that's not coming up. Yeah. Oh. That would explain it. So, body. Past. Okay. Go by to travel to. Yeah. We're gonna add this, right? Oh, there was a extra go. Nihongo benkyo. 今日は287日目です。3日間、多分3日間、毎日3日間ぐらいかかります。Let's see. What do you... Alright, we gotta add Toru to the list. Right.
池袋は賑やかで面白いです。
池袋は、賑やか。Guess we could add some adjectives for the practice. 賑やかで面白いです。
池袋で漫画の本を買いました。池袋で漫画本を買いましたね。漫画の本の買いました。池袋で漫画の本を買いました。
Oh.
の
You put a no in there. Manga no hon. A manga book. That's a little bit redundant, but that's okay. Ikebukuro de manga no hon o kaimashita. Futo. Oh. Going up. Futo.
コスプレ。
コスプレ。伝説。初心者。住所。
私と一緒にコスプレしませんか？私と一緒にコスプレ
しませんか？
しませんか？
交差点。
渋谷
最初。原宿。
3番ホームの電車に乗る。3番
ホームに電車乗る。3番のホームに
3番ホームの電車に乗る。
No, this way. I would put a place no in two places. That's fine. 3番ホームの電車に乗る。 How does it work? 交差点。
交差点。
交差点。Hold up.
原宿。
花見。
花見。
渋谷。
池袋で映画を見た。
池袋で映画を見た。新宿で、新宿のカフェで会いました。
新宿
のカフェで会いました。
会いた。
その大きな交差点は少し危ないです。
その大きな交差点、交差点な交差点。交差点は少し危ないです。その大きな交差点は少し危ないです。大きな。新宿。新宿にはバス、新宿では私たちは新宿でバスを乗りました。乗りました。しましょう。Where are we going with this? Past tense. 乗った。乗る、乗った。私たちは新宿でバスに乗った。3番ホームの3番ホームに
電車のに
電車に乗る。新宿駅or 新宿の駅。新宿駅で彼女は新宿駅でタクシー乗りました。or 乗った。
彼女
は
新宿駅でタクシーに乗った。wrong particle. Fine. Hooray, more gems.
彼女の部屋は北に面している。
面している。
彼女
の部屋。彼女の部屋は北ね。
北
面している。北に面している。
面している。
It's facing north.
山手線。
山手線。
父はサラリーマンです。
父はサラリーマンです。 Mm-hmm.
線
And
帰りはとても混んでいました。
帰り
帰りは
は、とも、
山手線
山手線で、No, no, 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 wait, wait,
帰
wait.
りは
Wait, wait, wait,
山
wait,
手
wait, hold up.
帰りはとても混んでいました。
No, so,
帰り
帰
帰りはとても混んでいました。は
りは、Oh, interesting. 帰りは、
帰りはとても混んでいました。とても
とても
混
混んでいました。
いました。
So the returning, it was very crowded returning, or on the way home. Interesting.山手線。
山手
彼の部屋は庭に面しています。彼
は、
彼の部屋は庭に面しています。の
彼はの部屋、彼の
部屋
部屋
は
は Where is it facing? 庭
庭
に
面しています。彼の部屋は庭に面しています。
庭に面しています。His room faces the garden.
山手線に乗ったの？
山手線に乗ったの？
彼女
の部屋は北に面している。
面している。
Just going back between formal and casual, or polite and casual.
山手線
山手線
線
交差点
渋谷原
宿
山手線
山手線にの
東京メトロはとても便利です。
東京メトロはとても便利です。メトロはサラリーマンで混んでいました。or yes 混んでいました。or 混んでいた。or for me, no, that doesn't. Just we'll use the present, past progressive. Okay.
メトロ
メトロはサラリーマンで What are you going with? 混んでいた。Fair enough.
メトロで多くのサラリーマンを見た。
メトロで多くのサラリーマンを見た。 Oh, on the metro. Shumatsu. 週末は山手線。週末。Very crowded on weekend. Maybe, actually, try this.
山手線
山手線
は
Oh yeah,山手線は週末。Oh, weekdays. Oh, weekdays. Whoops. Weekdays are heitatsu.
平日
Heijitsu. Oh. Okay, heijitsu. That work. Yeah, 平日でとても本がいます。
がいます
That's a turn of phrase. Using the noun. That should work, right? Oh, today went with heijitsu wa. Technically, oh there, Blair. Technically, in the way of the English sentence, Yamanote could be the topic, as opposed to the weekdays. But I kind of get why. I was testing this out. I was like, maybe we could try this. So that's kind of what I was doing there. There's like a period of time, weekdays, something can be crowded, but that's not how that works. A lot of office workers on the metro.
メトロ
メトロでサラリーマンを
多く
のサラリーマンを見た
通り
I've got toru and tori. Oh yeah, tori for street. Tori waど人で混んでいます。
混んでいます。
Okay.
平日
は山手線でとても混がnot 混がoh yeah, yes,
混
just con. Pretty sure this 混がいます。Oh no, it's not. Oh, wait. No. What I said was fine. Then I accidentally messed up. It's Conde. Oh, they were doing past, present progressive, right? Hold up. So
山は
山手線は
平日
で I'm actually kind of curious. So it was my incorrect conjugation of komu.
混
Huh.
でが
Huh. No.
で
Wait, actually, Huh.
が
This probably works actually.
で
Oops.
は
Oh no no. Just kidding.
が
Let's try this.
います。とても
No, it still doesn't take that. That's fine. Just curious. If you can personalize a day or not.
山手線
Um,
山手線平日
平日
は
は
山手線がとても混んでいます。
Alright, alright, you win.
面白い場所です。
面白い場所です。
場です。
都市
都市。
都市
場所を教えてください。
場所
を
教えて。What?
場所を教えてください。
教えて
ください。
東京は日本の首都です。
東京は日本の首都です。
都市
この近所にコンビニはありますか？この
近所この近所にコンビニはありますか？
ありますか？
ブラジルの首都は何ですか？
ブラジルの首都は何ですか？ What is it, folks? What is it?
娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。娘
娘は
会社
のアパート
にを
借りている or
娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。
近所の
近所のに近所の近所に会社の娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。
in the neighborhood, the company's neighborhood. Yeah, that's fine.
ている。娘は会社の近所にアパートを借りている。
Okay. Is renting, right?
私の彼氏は山口市に働きます。
私の彼氏は山口市に働きます。大阪は大都市大都市大都市大都市だ。大阪
大阪は都市 大学
Ah!
大学大きな
Oh, Okina. Fair enough. Okina Toshita.
だ
That's
こん
fine
な
too.
場所に行ったことがない。
What?
こんな場所に行ったことがない。こんな
Onna
場所
basho.
い
Ita. Ita koto. Koto. Ita koto ga. ない。
ない。
こんな場所行ったことがない。場所に。どんな場所に行ったことがない。Okay. Which place have you not gone to? Have you not been to? Oh, like this. Or, I guess you're not asking. I have not been to a place. That's not a question. I was thinking of it in a form of a question. Oh, okay.
原宿天
Shibuya.
渋谷都市 交差点 東京は
東京は日本の歌。
首都
首都です。
です。
東京の人口はどれくらいですか？
東京の人口はどれくらいですか？どれくらいですか？くらい。どれくらいですか？ Okay. Is there a convenience store in this neighborhood?
この
この近所。
近所
Dang it. この近所 Did I write 近所 properly? I might have said 近所 as well. 近所。この近所には
コンビニ
actually
は
この近所にコンビニはありますか？
はありますか？
東京
の
人口
は
どれくらい
ですか？都市
は
都市の人口は
どれ
くらいですか？
ですか？
Alright.
減る
減る。
広島の人口はどれくらいですか？Oh no. 広島
広島の人口はOh, interesting. Oh, you guys are kind of mean.
広島の人口はどれくらいですか？どれくらいですか？
Usually they prefer くらい. But くらい is fine too, actually.
増える
増える。
都市の人口が減りました。
都市の人口が減りました。
減りました。
Decreasing. 増える。
増える。
広島の人口が増えている。
増えている。increasing。
広島
の
の人口
が
混んで増えている。広島の人口が増えている。
増えている。増えます。increase。
増えます。
人口が増えている。
人口が増えている。
人口が
was it 減る I guess 減った works
減った。
do the kodan do
点。
山手線
山手線。都市。
増えます。
減り
ます。
都市の人口が増えている。
都市の人口が増えている。渋谷減る。
減ります。増えます。
原宿。
銀座線に乗った。
銀座線に乗った。毎朝は銀座線に乗る。彼は毎朝銀座線に乗る。Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Just gotta feel it out because there's not no context. 銀座線に乗った。広島の
人口
が increasing. So 増える。そう増えている。Okay. 母は銀座。
私
Sure.
の
私の母は銀座に店を has? Yes. ある？持っています。
持っています。
Fair enough. Ooh, okay. Alright. Trucking right along. A little tired.
住民
Yes. 住民
数
集まる。
集まります。
集まります。
集ま
住民たちは近所を散歩する。住
住
民
民
は
は、住民は、
住民たちは近所を散歩する。
住民た
た
ち、
ちは
Duolingo, Lingo, some frequency. Okay. Duolingo wa something frequency. Something frequency. I see. No. Tsubichi o osieru. Yes. They do. I'm guessing that's informal. Yes, they do. You already saw it. They go back and forth between informal and formal. Unless you're talking about super informal. I don't know if there's even more casual than casual. They already did it a bunch of times. They go back and forth. That last prompt was informal. Unless there's an even more informal than the current informal. Then no. Where were we? 住民。住民たちは、
近所
近所。近所。
住民たちは近所を散歩する。
近所を散歩する。
するは
Like 散歩する is informal.
住民たちは近所を散歩する。
I'm not sure if there's any more informal than that. Let's see. 数。
数
ホテルは広場に面している。
ホテルは、広場。ホテルは広場に、面している。So you can provide an example if you want. Like, is there something lower formal than this? Lower informal than this? Because this is informal as opposed to imasu. Like 面しています。And then I guess they can add emphasis and stuff like yo. And then maybe if you're female, I guess there's no endings, but they don't usually use the female no. And like occasionally they do emphasis like des.
「広場に人がたくさん集まっている」。
集まっている。集まっている。
広場に人がたくさん集まっている。
広場。
広場
が人
にが
とか
集ま広場に人がたくさん集まっている。
とかが集まっている。たくさん。
たくさん
Yeah. がたくさん集まっている。
広場に人がたくさん集まっている。
広場に人がたくさん集まっている。It's really late though. It's really late into it. Plain form, I guess. Plain, casual, I guess informal. This is second. It's taught second. They show it second. So for me it took about 200 days in, something like that. 200 days in, they switch from formal to informal, and then they go back and forth. So you have to guess which one they're referring to. They do not indicate whether it's formal or informal. So now every exercise you need to determine what from the choices if they mean formal or informal. I kind of like it this way, largely because you have to be reminded of both. Okay. Oh, it seems like you're not. Oh. Wait. Why are you telling me this? So you're saying hoteru. Oh, hiroba menshiteru. So you just. I see. Yeah. I mean, that's fine too. I don't know what that example means, like what your point is making, what point you're making. But yeah, that would say the hotel faces the plaza. That's fine. You just remove the stuff. Usually extremely informal speech cut out particles and stuff between things, like, yeah, they do that too. Yep, every once in a while. So I would say extremely informal phrases, you get used to it too. Like the no doesn't exist there a lot of times, so you're just removing particles. I don't think that's any different from informal speech, but occasionally they would drop no's here and there. But yes. Why would they want, like, the motivation is that, yeah, you can choose to drop particles if you want. I actually add them back a lot of times. I add back particles. But that's still informal. You said they teach informal. They don't actually explain anything. So usually they just do it. I think you're being, I think that's being a little pedantic about removing particles or not. Personally. You can choose to remove it or not. Let's see. The number of university students is increasing. So a wee bit pedantic. 数の
大学生
の数が増えている。I wonder when you have time to do. I wonder what time when you use those things. Personally, I think that's a little. Omitting those things is great if you're omitting those things. It's pretty useful when you're listening to content between two very well, like, people that know each other really well. I don't necessarily think they need to teach dropping particles to understand what they're saying. Shibuya. Shibuya 10. Kazu. Kazu. Jumin. For me personally, I don't drop particles most of the time. In English though, I suppose I do drop prepositions occasionally. However, I try not to. In English, which people drop prepositions a lot and articles a lot in English as well. It gets your translation marked wrong in Duolingo though. Sometimes they're a little bit more flexible. I'm kind of curious how that works for the English learners. They can accept, a lot of times they do accept the particle drop in certain places, especially no. Dropping no every once in a while, they accept it. Adding back no, sometimes it's a little weird. I don't know about dropping ga and the others. Probably not. Let's see. So, atsumarimasu.
集ま
住民
の数が
が
Oh no, that's fine. 増えている
ている
If I had to make a relational thing for me for speaking, I probably wouldn't ever speak in extremely informal phrases. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get to that point. In English, I speak semi formally to all my best friends, usually, unless it's like meme things, which then they would be catchphrases and idioms, but largely I speak like this. Typically quite formally or semi-formally. Attempting to place my adverbs and whatnot in particular places. Completing clauses with a down tone. Atsumarimasu.
集まります。
集まります。I think the closest thing to extremely informal phrases are the phrases themselves. Duolingo occasionally includes a bunch of phrases and they're taken as is. And since Duolingo doesn't teach grammar, right? Or it doesn't explicitly explain grammar, all the idioms, all the informal phrases, occasional informal phrases, you memorize them because they're missing the grammar points. So your assumption is, oh, okay, this saying drops these things. I don't have one off the top of my head because I don't usually use the phrases too often. But maybe like really informal phrases, frequent informal phrases. They will drop particles here and there. I think some of them usually comes from anime. Other people who are used to them. I personally even from a language learner perspective, I find it a little bit too friendly. I think the conversation and the speech in English in general is incredibly casual. I don't usually resonate with that a lot of times. When people say, I mean, I don't mind them saying it. I don't say it back. Like for example, when people say, "Bruh, do you even do you even try?" I'm like, well, I like to believe that I'm putting forth effort in learning the target language. That's probably what I would reply to. But bruh, do you even try would be an example of extremely informal phrasing in English. But that could be the normal thing or internet commentary. I would choose not to reply in that same speech. Especially, between people. So personally, practicing phrases that I won't normally use in Japanese, it's a mixed bag. It might help you listen to movies and podcasts and blogs between very friendly people, for sure. I would say that's probably the pragmatic use for it. Speaking and constructing and talking to other people, I probably won't use it enough to use it myself. So if you're listening for it, it'll probably still be fairly easy to pick up. Speaking, I would not be able to, since I don't use it very often. If someone comes up and say, "Oh yeah, you're too formal," like, well, that's okay. I like being formal. It's like, well, then that just means you're too detached. Like, you want to. Well, I am. The people who are close to me understand. At least this is my selfish request. Would understand that I'm semi-formal most of the time. Again, not trying to be Japanese. That's one of the things I talk about quite a bit. Let's see.
増えます。
数。住民。I mean, there might be a chance that's related. I haven't been to Japan, and I don't have I don't have close relations with a Japanese native, so I don't know what their opinions are when it comes to the frequency and breakdown of their speech patterns. I know what my speech patterns are in English, though. At least I think. Perhaps I should reevaluate that statement at a later time. Yeah.
山手線。
山手線。広場。広場。
広場。
oh no, not 広場。広場の、広場に人の。
に。
Yes. It takes God, right?
に。
広場に人が集まった。ね。
あった。
集まった。wrote here. 手紙。手紙。住民。住民。書きました。ね。書いた。ね。の、書きました。
住民、私。
私に、
住民は、
住民は私に、私に手紙を書きました。
手紙を
書きました。
書きまた。
Oh, they wanted the resident.
たち。
住民たちは私に手紙を書きました。Gather here again at 5 o'clock. 私たち、ね。カレー No. No, okay, we don't need that.
ここ
ここに、また、ここに、また、
5時
こっちに、
に5時
Let's do
に
this. 5時に、ここに、また、ここに、gather, 集まる、集ましょう。集まる。Oh, okay. Wait. Uh-oh.
集まろ
集まろう。Oh, right. 集まろう。Yes. Yes. The one instance of this. I'm kind of curious if they're gonna lean on this sometime. This is the first instance of no. 集まろう。As opposed to like 集まりましょう。集まりしょう。Oh, maybe that's I'll have to look at that. How did I screw this up? Oh, I was testing that thing.
山手線
Yeah, oops.
平日
平日は山手線
で
とても混んでいました。or 混んでいます。is
混で
I
が
keep doing で
ます
or が。
彼は毎朝銀座線に乗る。
彼は毎朝銀座線に乗る。He has become every day, every morning he has become the Ginza line. 乗る。毎朝。
メトロで多くのサラリーマンを見た。
メトロ。
メイドメトロ
で多くの
サラリーマンを見た。
3番ホームの電車に乗る。
3番ホームの電車に乗る。
父はサラリーマンです。
父は
サラリーマン
サラリーマンです。
です。
こんな場所に行ったことがない。
こんな場所に行ったことがない。
場所を教えてください。
場所を教えてください。場所ね。
場所を
blank space
教え
て
ください。
Please tell me the place or location.
彼女は銀座で地下鉄に乗った。
彼女は銀座で地下鉄に乗った。
面白い場所です。
面白い場所です。
場所。名詞です。
Oh, I cut it off.
面白い名詞。
名詞。How does that work? 名詞。Isn't there a good Japanese restaurant in the neighborhood? A good Japanese restaurant. How do they go about what do they use for good? There's so many ways to go about this. I see oishi. That's probably what they're saying. Yeah. Okay. So
Kinjo.
近所。近所には日本料理の
店。
日本の料理店。Oh, their turn. おはようございます。How are you today, Churn? 最近どうですか？I guess ありません。
ありか。
おいしい They're going with おいしい。
おいしい。
Or good? I mean, a tasty place is good. Fair enough. So, yeah. I keep messing this up. 近所。Yeah. 近所には美味しい日本の料理店ありませんか？ That's a pretty good one. Dang it! Oh, right. I'm missing a particle here. This would be one of the examples. I'm missing a particle here. What the heck is that character? But I'm guessing... Wait. Can I see it? Oh. Choshi. Interesting. Well. Choshi. Oh, is that a personal... how does that work? You're doing well. How does that work? The choshi part. I see the ii desu. It has I am, maybe, is that a feeling? It has telling plus how Plus a character of. Condition. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Condition is good. Yeah. I'm like, it has telling or informing of some characteristic. Condition makes sense. Toshi wa ii desu. I like it. Toshi wa ii desu. Desho. Very neat. I haven't learned that yet. I'll keep that in mind. I'm trying to think if there's a Chinese state. Not particularly. The resident goes walks through the neighborhood.
住民
住民たちは近所を散歩する
する
Wait, hold. That makes sense. Kind of.
散歩
する Wait, but then I don't have a
近所立ち散歩はお
Yeah, I don't know how to relate either. That's the closest thing too. Well, I guess you could say tone as in like my emotional tone is good right now. So tone as in what is your tone in your attitude, I suppose. I don't know. I was trying to see like, nah, that's a bit of a stretch. There a convenience.
この近所
この近所はここにね No wait
は
この近所
ここ
近所にコンビニはありますか
あります
How did I screw this up? Oh, I forgot a particle, an essential particle. Or what they believe is an essential particle.
近所
近所に
おいしい
おいしい
日本の
料理店は
ありません
Oh yeah, ありませんかあ近所においしい日本料理の店 Oh, they placed it here. Oh wait, I had this problem before. I'm like, is it a I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously I would put no in both places, but yep. Oh, I get it though. Japanese cuisine store. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I'll give them points for that. That's fair. That's fair. 近所に日本料理の店. No, wait. Then it's no mise. Then they were looking for mise as opposed to ten. Because Yori 10, I think Yori 10 works too. Am I crazy? Whoops. Ah! can't spell restaurant in. Oh wait, how did I mess up? Oh my gosh, I can't spell restaurant in English anymore. Oh, I guess. I guess shokudo would be kind of preferred. No, but we can do ryori-ten. Yeah, we can do ryori-ten, but they decided to go with ryori no. I'm pretty sure then it'd be read as ryori no mise. What a kerfuffle there. Usually 10 is with other words because onyomi, mise just a lone character. Yeah. But what I mean is, this is correct. I could say, oh, actually, hold on. I think they will accept this. Hold up. To illustrate my point.
Oishi.
Oishi Nihon. If they think putting a no here is excessive, it
No.
still works if you say Nihon ryori 10 instead of mise. Like they want no for it to stand alone.
No.
But ryori 10 is also a restaurant. That's why I put a no here to identify it as a Japanese restaurant. But
Wa.
like for example, let's try this.
Ka.
Yeah, see, they would accept that. They don't accept Nihon no ryori-ten, as in it's a Japanese restaurant, as opposed to a Japanese a restaurant that serves Japanese. Or like a Japan, like a restaurant in Japan. Because that's obviously not what that question is. But ryori-ten is also restaurant. Although the current phrase they want is ryori no mise. Mise wa arimasen ka? It's funny. Funny. Neat. Very neat. Opens my eyes. That's probably one of the more frustrating parts with like people who learn, like who use Duolingo. They get upset because, you know, you have hearts, which someone gifted me super, but also you can circumvent. It feels awful when you don't have like all the options open and whatnot, so that's fine. I mean, earlier, I was just talking to this other person who talked about, do they introduce like extremely informal phrases and whatnot? I'm like, kind of yes or no. A lot of times I end up fighting with the dropping of particles and adding back particles and whatnot. I just add the particles wherever I feel like it's appropriate to convey the English meaning at this point. Shukudai, whether it's grammatically correct or not, it's more like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of my English translations are not grammatically correct, apparently. Do what you will. Shukudai.
Shukudai.
I don't necessarily think it's going to greatly impact the way you understand people. But I could be wrong. I'm going to say it's a mixed bag. Yes and no. Right? Most of the time it's yes and no.
Harajuku.
Shukudai. Shukudai.
I wouldn't be an English speaker otherwise. Harajuku.
Harajuku.
Okay, we got 50 minutes. Let's wrap this day up strong. I'm a bit lackadaisical today.
Shukudai.
Whoops. Let's see. Yes.
Shukudai.
Harajuku.
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 Harajuku. Shitsu. Kyoshitsu.
Kyoushitsu.
Kyoushitsu. Genkan.
Genkan.
What does Harajuku mean? Harajuku? Harajuku means Harajuku. It's the name of the place, Harajuku. This unit is describing cities, and they gave you a bunch of city names from Japan. So Harajuku is one of them. Harajuku, Shinjuku, Shibuya, Hiroshima. Yeah, Ikebukuro, right? The Chiba. We didn't get Chiba, but Ginza. Yeah, gotta be familiar with Japanese places. I'm not familiar with Japanese places. Yeah, that's fair. It's understandable. Yeah. You love figuring out the structure for sentence equations when you get new words? Yeah, me too, Blair. Me too. Me too. Although, again, the whole gamifying thing with the hearts thing, not the greatest. I totally understand people's frustration. You're discouraged from figuring out the structure for sentence equations because you don't get to experiment. So I totally understand that. It is a point of the little... It's my agreement with the nitpicky thing. You don't get to explore if you can't trial and error. When this is basically trial and error. It's still relatively okay.
小学
小学
宿題
Harajuku.
原宿
Yeah, Harajuku.
塾
Is Harajuku a well-known place? Yeah, it's kind of a well-known. Like, for people who want to visit Japan. They gave you all the well-known places.
山口
Yamaguchi.
自転車
Jitensha. Although Yokohama, we don't have Yokohama yet. And Chiba is pretty good too.
自転車
Jitensha.
宿題
Udai.
5枚
Omai. Harajuku.
原
宿題
Skudai. I'm waiting for Fukuoka, Nagoya. Maybe like Hokkaido. There are a couple more places that I would add. You know Ueno, but not Harajuku. Ueno is a really beautiful place, though. Yeah, Ueno, especially their park, it's very iconic. And then obviously Kyoto and Tokyo. But there is also like the Kyushu to the left. And Okinawa. Okinawa is not even introduced. A beautiful place as well.
宿題
Skudai. You know what's funny? I think I might
宿題
know more cities around the Tokyo, like more things around the Tokyo area than around my own local place where I live. That's kind of a little sobering thought.
出口
Deguchi. Deguchi. Fuku. Something Fuku. What are you? Seifuku. Yeah, Seifuku.
制服
Seifuku. Kanji.
漢字
Kanji.
原宿
Harajuku. Skudai.
原宿
Harajuku. Oh, you know, in this chapter, in this unit, they introduced mensuru. Mensuru. And according to the Jisho thing, it's an N1 concept. And I don't know what makes it N1, but it does say it's a special class suru. So I don't know what that means at the moment. But that's kind of curious. But I don't expect to see mensuru too often. It's interesting because they use men, which is probably onyomi, right? For mien. I don't ever think I would hear a Japanese person say mien or closer to mien than men. Yeah, you just end up writing the sentence down and breaking it apart to look at it, then plug anything similar into that equation. Yeah. What did you have? Denki. Denkiya kara itoko. いとこの家まで30分かかります。Yeah, mensuru. Yep, exactly. This. Mensuru. In fact, it's actually not even this. It's they actually did shite iru. So facing or looking upon. So men shite iru. Right. But that's kind of what my interpretation is, where they took the suru and did shiteiru. So it's like men shiteiru. The closest hit I got was this. Men I mean, I doubt I'm gonna see this too often, but yeah, to look upon, to face something in this unit. It's just out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna memorize that for now.
原宿
Harajuku.
原宿
It's funny. It's peculiar, right? Duolingo is very peculiar. Shikudai. Am I being a bud, or does that not sound right? Oh yeah. Yeah, to face, get it? I like it because the Chinese totally gives it away. Right? Mian. It's like to look upon something. It's like, yeah, I got your Mian right here. I got your Mian right here.
2枚
2枚
4000
4000
3匹
3匹
宿題
宿題大
原宿
I think I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ikebukuro, but can you if you probably know what Ikebukuro sounds like. So yesterday when Ikebukuro was introduced, right? I'm like, oh, it's a pawn bag. Nice. Right? It's a pawn bag. Ikebukuro. You got Bukuro and you got Ike. Neat. I actually really love names. This chapter was this unit was a lot of fun because there's a chance that they're introducing new kanji with the names, but a lot of times we've covered enough kanji that the names are like relatively okay. And you know, the kanji section is already revealing that, right? This is a new kanji, hara and bara. So like Akihabara and Harajuku. However, Juku we've already seen in Shiku. So you can combine like, so Ju, right? Ju. But if you look at the Ju, it's where Shu. So you're getting used to like ha and ba transition and Ju and Shu. So you're kind of getting the feeling of how the sound changes. Like a lot of times it's a roll change. It's a 10-10 change. So like ha and ba, right? Ha and ba. So you kind of intrinsically, at least in my opinion, for me, it's making it pretty obvious. Like I'm getting used to the idea. It's like, oh wait, yeah, that could be the same character, because it's Harajuku and Akihabara. So Habara, and then ha, right? Ha is kotoba. It's kind of nice. I don't know. I enjoy it. You're still not used to the 10-10 chain because I don't know when they'll add a 10-10. Oh, yeah. I don't either. You just feel it out, Churn. Just feel it out. one day you're gonna do like you know, Ultra Instinct on it. I'm kidding. I am kidding. Probably just exposure is enough. Okay. Probably. Oh, we aren't gonna finish this.
Shibuya.
Not the common sense. No common sense. Common sense is overrated. Intuition.
Shibuya.
Intuition.
Shibuya.
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 Pawn bag. I mean, yeah, pawn bag.
Shibuya.
Shibuya.
I don't know if there's a pawn in Ikebukuro.
Shibuya.
Imagine if there was a pawn. Shibuya.
Shibuya.
What are other places
Shibuya.
I could name?
Shibuya.
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 What are places that they
Shibuya.
haven't named that I would?
Hoshii.
Shibuya.
Oh, fair enough. Yep.
Shibuya. Shibuya.
Akiha? Might be beautiful autumn leaf. Is it Aki and Ha? What's the read on the last one? Oh, just so Akihabara is a place. Oh, it's Ba. Ooh, Akiba. Ooh. I feel like that might actually be a place.
Hoshii.
Hoshii.
That would sound like a place for sure. Akiba. I'm trying to think of like a
Shibuya.
I like Fukuoka. Fukuoka sounds fantastic. I don't actually know what the characters they decide to use to make Fukuoka.
Shibuya.
Maybe something dealing with two rivers. Or maybe there's river in it somehow. I guess you could also do the same with other cities though. Duo is trying to kill you with all the verbs. Oh, did you get a predicate? Did you get a predicate unit? A tense unit maybe?
Shibuya.
Hoshii.
I always found Fukuoka a really wonderful name. It's a really pretty city as well. What about the city Chiba? Yeah, Chiba. Oh, they use 1,000 leaf for Chiba. Yeah, I mentioned Chiba already. They haven't introduced Chiba yet. What I mean is they use Chiba as a location, but they haven't introduced the kanji in this one. This unit was very long, actually.
Shibuya.
It was very, very long. However, they introduced 8 names in one go.
Shiai.
試合難しい
難しい。楽しい。
楽しい
渋谷。
欲しい。
欲しい Oh my gosh, I didn't slide into place. That's what happens when you click too quick. What am I doing? Oh yeah. 試合中。
試合中。欲しい。
悲しい。
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 難しい。
渋谷。
欲しい。
試合。
試合。
欲しい。
Oh, okay. There is that stroke there. I was a little 50-50 today. I was like, wait a minute. Was there that one stroke there or not?
欲しい。難しい。渋谷。
渋谷。楽しい。
楽しい。
渋谷。
Like, I know the difference of past and present and suggestive stuff, but now it's like, here, have. いりましょう。いりません。歩きますと、歩きますと、歩ましょう。Oh, yeah. Sometimes I don't like how my keyboard is giving the kanji when I just want to type hira. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
欲しい。
Understandable.
Yeah.
Wait. What was I looking for? Oh, 欲しい。
欲しい。
Alright, well, we neglected our kanji for today, but this part has become a little bit more optional these days because we're picking up characters very, very quickly. Although one day we gotta go back. We've fallen so far off the horse. There used to be a time, like, when was the last time I consecutively completed the kanji section? Way back in unit 43? Oh no. And then I collapsed some of the stuff. Occasionally there's streaks of reasonable things. Like, oh man, my digressions have gotten worse and worse. Now I'm barely like touching the things just to double check. So all of these, like when I get to the last group, right? I didn't even get to the last group on this, but most of the time I try to get to the last group just to confirm the stroke order that I've been using. And occasionally I get corrected, right? I get corrected just to make sure my stroke order is correct. But nowadays I don't even complete these sections, which I'm getting a little complacent. But that's the end of this section. By the way, we're 1 day, 2 days away because tomorrow is Monday, so Neverwinter. But we're 1 day away from doing the first story thing that they have. And they don't have that many story things, which unfortunately, I hope section 4 has more stories. Because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it stops. It's just 10 stories. And it stops, but it's like the three last ones are like the last couple in a section is kind of weird. So I hope section 4 has more. But we're finally reaching the end game of Duolingo. And quote unquote game. The end phase. This is the last feature in a developed course. So like one of if the course is like in the top 5 or something, typically the low end Japanese is like 5 or 6 in terms of like relevance, like usage. So manage to have stories, right? However, if you go to like the top 3, then there's something above this. I think Spanish and English now have adventures is the other feature on the course, right? So it'll be interesting. I'm curious. It's about a passport. I don't know how I feel about the passport being the first story, but I haven't seen what it's like. Oh, hey, look. It's the annual bot reminding me that I'm live on Twitch. Thank you. Jamie jumping hair, huh? I wonder how they got that auto-generated. Alright, folks. it's a wrap for today. I think this unit was okay. As in, like, it allowed you to throw in a lot of characters, right? Lots and lots of characters here and there. We kind of learn how to refer to people and cities and, like, the residents. Yeah, dude. You know, I hear a lot of times YouTube, like, proliferates my algorithm with like, suggestions, and then oftentimes the occasional Duolingo suggestion comes up and it's like speedrunning Duolingo. It's like, I don't know how fast you are, but I think I do these kanji sections pretty quickly. And I don't know, when someone says they like sped run, someone literally actually said this to me early in the early days, when someone said, oh yeah, I sped run Japanese. It's like, what do you mean by speed run the Japanese course? You mean the 2024 course? Go, yeah. And my guess is they took the exam and it shortcuts to section 5. This is I'm revealing my gamery side of things. It's any percentage speed run. So the any percentage speed run is to skip to section 5 and finish section 1 through 5. And I even would agree, would say they probably didn't complete the kanji section, because this stuff is hecka fun. I like this stuff. I like this section the most. However, holy heck, there are so many exercises. Like, I think I got down the pattern already. So it's 10 exercises each that deals with writing, and then any additional auxiliary overlap is added on top of this. So there are 1 introductory stroke order, and then there's 4 or 5 double each radical, and then there's mix match for the last 4 to make a set of 10. So it's hard to explain, but if, say, like, you're trying to learn how to write this, right? The very first writing exercise, they're going to break down the stroke order, like, one by one, using a track exercise followed by a pre-rendered exercise. So like an onion skin, like a template, like a tracing. We'll call it tracing. There's a track, tracing, then they remove and do one at a time, one radical at a time. That's the first one. And then the next 4 to 5 is double. It's double and radical breakdown structure. And then the last 4 to 5 repetitions is different pairs usually. So nowadays kanji average around 3 elements. So it'd be like 1 plus 2, then 2 plus 3, then 1 plus 3, and then wrap it up with the whole thing. That's their routine. So you have all of those exercises for every one of these boxes. And on top of that, if these boxes overlap with each other, there'll be additional exercises thrown in that overlaps with them. And then every one of these exercises is an upkeep of all the previous exercises, and they can range. And recently, in the last 3 units, now all of these exercises, some of these, like this one, for example, is missing a lot, right? These got review writing exercises. So the review writing exercises are in for certain characters that have been rotated out for a really long time. So any bar that is missing a lot have additional exercises for upkeep for the writing part of it. So now the length has ballooned. It's like gigantic. To complete this is when I hear people say something like, "Oh, I completed the unit," it's like, wait. Did you do this part? Because this part takes, even if you don't speak, so you don't speak, right? Don't speak, no think, just react. right? Quote unquote, just react. This is the practice. As fast as it go, it's still like double the time of the actual unit that you do. So I don't know if it's great or not. I just think this stuff really conditions you to be like, oh yeah, that's a character. This is a character. This must mean something. I think this is where it mostly comes from. And then the units get quicker. It becomes even quicker because of all these drilling, all this drilling, which I enjoy. You know, it's almost for lack of a better word, which is a little undesirable, a little bit more intuitive. Right? What I mean is, it gets to a point. It's like, okay, yep, it's this pattern. Yes, you write it this way. At one point, I'm gonna have to review and summarize a lot of my stroke intuition, because nowadays I see a character, I write the character, and occasionally there might be a stroke that's a 50-50, and the 50-50 has something to do with actually more between Chinese and Japanese, and then occasionally, like maybe 1% of the time, there's an interesting radical that I'm like, how do you write this? And this is peak. This is peak interest. It's gone down to like 1%. It used to be like, oh my gosh, that's an interesting way to write this. Oh my gosh, and now it will take months before I encounter, this guy looks weird. Like, let me see if there's anyone in here. The weirdest one in this entire group set, there isn't one in this group set. So the most recent pattern, it might be this one. This one's like a little bit weird, right? This is a little bit weird, largely due to like this thing here. Usually a lot of elements deal with curve as opposed to a flat, up to this point. So maybe this is the weirdest one. Maybe you learned all the radicals already, so you don't find it interesting anymore. I gotta keep it interesting. You know what I mean, Churn? Like, that's what I'm kind of thinking. If I'm capping out, right? If I'm capping out at like 95, let's just say 95% coverage of writing, I'm gonna try to figure out another way to engage with this. When I stop paying attention, the point when I stop paying attention while I'm learning, this is what I do personally. I don't know if other people do this or not. My personal take is, when I get above 80% coverage, as in it's not even 90, I think I'm at 95% right now. If that means I'm slacking off. When I get about 80%, say like, so 20% of the time I'm still like, yes, this is interesting, like this part is interesting, then I'm still okay. When I start getting past to like 90% of the time, I try to find new ways of being interested. So I try to come up with a creative way that makes me want to look at these characters again. Like, I want to get invested in this. So right now, what I'm doing is, when I write a new character, like when I write an old character, for example, this is an old character actually because of Chinese, like, su shi, right? Su xie for math. The idea is, now I'm thinking about all these things, and now I'm like, so how, like, I'm taking in more of a deep dive on how I make and draw these things and how I'm feeling them. So I'm like spending more time trying to focus on something else that I didn't get a chance to focus on. So like, oh, where can I find this in a lot of things, right? So now as I'm writing them, I'm like really looking at this. It's like, okay, where can I find this? So Duolingo does do this. So Duolingo is basically doing this already. Now I'm doing it myself in advance, right? I'm doing myself in advance. I'm not waiting for a vocabulary word. And that's what's keeping me engaged. For me, that's the key for me. Like, one of the things is if I start saying, if I start doing something and my thought is, wait, I don't remember what my thoughts were about something, right? About something. Then this is fine if you're vibing and chilling, right? You're vibing and chilling. That's fantastic. That's what you want to do. You want to do something without necessarily remembering what it was about. You're trying to unwind. But when I'm learning, if I get to this point, it's already more than 90%. It's probably like 95%. So there are times when I'm writing and I'm like, wait a minute. How many characters did I even write today? Earlier on, like let's say reverse 100 days back, I actually could remember how many characters I learned each day. Like, I'm like, oh wait, let's see. I think I wrote about 13 new characters, and then I write them down because I was so focused. I was focused on they were new, and there were a lot of things interesting with them, right? I was learning. I was incredibly engaged with being able to write them. Now I'm not, and my recalls are getting sloppier. They are getting sloppier and sloppier. So I'm trying to think of ways to not do that. Sometimes I think, well, for most people, I know this is gonna sound like it sounds like a story. Sometimes people just take a break. You take a break. You walk away from it, come back in like a month's time. Like literally tell yourself, say, I'm gonna walk away for a month and try the darndest to engage in something else that's interesting at the time, right? Interesting, then come back and be like, all right, here we go again. And that can break the complacency. For me, you don't have to do this if you're not focused on performance. Like if you're not focused on like getting combating diminished return, you don't have to break something or like renew your enthusiasm, right? You can keep doing it. It becomes less and less effort, right? You become more and more efficient, so you spend less and less time, and you can consume more and more volume. The volume goes up, so that technically means you cover more things. Your overall recall and performance might go down, but your volume is going up. Like you're consuming way more. So these are all the things that I personally do take into account. Most of the time, I favor my engagement. And I can definitely tell that a lot of things are getting sloppier because I'm being too complacent. In Mandarin, which I'm about to go to, we're about to switch. This is a good closing situation. In Mandarin, my duh is so bad right now. I place duh wherever I feel like it. It's kind of like the equivalent of putting like in a filler word, the filler word like in English anywhere you want. Like this is like that, like you know what I mean, like really. And I'm putting like duh everywhere. Like, okay, is this duh like she, sure duh, Trey I the mama the chul the stuff, and I'm like, wait. Let's let's dial it back a little because I'm getting complacent. Because duh is one of your first. It's one of your first. And you've used it so many times and it's become like a lot of times I just drop it because IRL you use feeling to put duh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you feel the duh. Yeah, you feel the duh. I've been so what is the Japanese equivalent? Is no. No is the Japanese equivalent. And someone already mentioned this about like extremely informal phrases. I put no wherever I feel like it feels good. Like, oh, okay. And I get like whomped. I get whomped all the time by Duo and whomped by other people. Like I know this, know that, know everything, right? That's a pun, by the way. That's the best I got. Know everything. Just know everything. You know this, know that, know everything. Right? You can literally put it anywhere in casual speech. Yeah, basically. But writing got limit. Yeah, exactly. So if you're writing and doing like grammar stuff and whatnot, there are limitations, there are restrictions. However, when you're the only difference is that no, you use it for nouns only. Yeah, kind of. You can use no for a question. And if you happen to be, I guess this is a thing. If you happen to be, I don't know how adherent is. If you happen to be of the feminine persuasion, you can put no at the end of a sentence. Oh, you could also. Oh, I guess that's with a noun. Yeah, technically you're putting a verb with no when you're nominalizing something. But then I guess this is considered a noun, so I suppose you could use it with nouns only. Technically that still applies. If the verb becomes a noun, then the no is being used with a noun, maybe. But technically when you use a verb with no, this becomes a noun, but the thing you remember is a verb. So no accompanies a verb. Right? Like duh can be used with adjectives. No can be used with adjectives too. But it's nominalizing the no. So what I mean is the generative no can be next to like aoi. Whoops. Aoi. Right. Am I a pep? Oh no, I wrote Shizuka. I meant Aoi. Sorry. Aoi no. Aoi no. This is an adjective. This is the noun. So this is the nominative no. Like nagai no. A long one. Nagai no. A long one. And the long is an adjective. Like ao no. Or I don't know if you would add e here. Aoi no. As opposed to ao no. Or like aka no. Or akai no. Just throw no everywhere. Except for the beginning of the sentence. Actually. No, you can't throw in. Well, you can't. Can you throw duh in the front of a sentence? Yeah, cause yeah, akai. So yeah, we need akai. Yeah, we need akai. My bad. Yeah, to make it into an adjective, and then akai no. So then it would just be like, red one. It's just like a red one, the red one, something like that. I think those are my recent discoveries. Like when I mean recent discoveries, I mean a recent complacencies. Recent habits that tells me that I'm not paying attention anymore. Like I'm paying less and less attention. So that's what I'm focused on right now, largely because while Chinese, I'm not worried about Chinese because the course is ending. The course is ending. So I have an objective breaking point that I'm going to have to switch it up. So I'm already planning all these things. However, the things I'm switching up will eventually be applied to Japanese, or maybe not because I might move on from it. The problem, the difference is Japanese still has like more than 8 months left. Like if I go for another solid 8 months, I might get to the end. So the thing is, I need to figure out how I'm going to mix it up. What are the new things I can do to mix it up? As in not give up on all the things I'm currently doing, but more how do I build more into the current stuff so I can still be more interested. The longer I continue to do something and notice that I'm becoming more and more lax is telling me that I'm trying and trying less. As in, I'm spending more time, but I'm not like actively engaged anymore. And that doesn't mean you can't have fun. That doesn't mean, like, it's not the same as having fun. You can have fun passively all the time. Actually, I like to believe that most people who play video games, they play passively. They play passively for fun. So like if you're logging into your 5,000th hour of Minecraft and 6,000th hour of Fortnite, it's probably an 80-20 split where 80% of the time you're just vibing. In fact, I'm gonna say more like 90 or 95%. You're vibing, and 5% or less you're learning something. Right? Because practice is a big part of the enjoyment. Practice and learning can be exclusive in a percentage way. Like 5% learning, 95% practice. Practice goes up when your competency goes up and learning goes down, right? Only so much of it is learning anymore. Every occasional discovery, those minute discoveries are really significant. I'm not saying they're not significant, but it takes so much more time to reach a breakthrough or to reach that little notch of learning, right? Like, oh, this little subtle thing has changed my, change your Fortnite game forever. And that makes sense. It takes a long time. So what I do is I don't really do that. Like I prefer to pick up something else. As in let's go and do a different skill that complements. And I'm still looking for that. So I'm working on it. Right now the writing thing, it's come to a head. I'm like being too lax, even in my attitude towards it. I'm like, I already, quote unquote, I already know probably how to write these. It's been a very, very long time since I concerned myself with, oh, how do you write this? Like, I don't remember the last time I said that. Most of the time I'm saying, this one stroke could be this or that. Let's go double check, right? It's usually double checking that. and I have yet to find a clever way of doing it. The best I've got now so far is that I start thinking about the radicals by my own standards, as in every time I see a radical when I'm writing it for the first time in a new character, I do this routine where I ask myself, I'm gonna break down this character, take a guess, and I'll write it. I'm like, okay, so that part and this part, okay, so this is a crown, but the crown is agnostic. The crown is agnostic to the idea of sitting and taking, as in taking a sit, because this here is the Mandarin for 坐, right? So that, and then this is a, I don't know, a Japanification. And that's, so as I'm writing them, I'm like, okay, that's one element. That's, you know, and then this is another element. And not in the sense that that's exactly what it is. It's the idea that with my current knowledge, and I make the writing more engaging based on my current knowledge. And eventually, you know, it may or may not reach a level of understanding that other people have already prescribed. However, if someone told me what this is and what that is, like how they go about it, then I'm no longer doing that anymore. So then it's no longer interesting, right? I'm not discovering anything. So it won't motivate me to be interested in these if I'm not doing something. It does take time, but I prefer to be actively wanting to do these things than someone like coaching me. I feel like there's a balance to be had. I am open to a lot of coaching when the stuff is really, really engaging. But when the stuff is not really engaging anymore, you want to be doing more, in my opinion. More discoveries, more challenges, more solving things. That's largely what happens when you have video games. What do they do in the end game? Well, the first playthrough is the learning potential, right? It's the learning playthrough. Then you remove all the other practice methods and you offer challenges. Those challenges extend the life of a video game. They switch up the stuff. They try to, or at least the developers attempt to extend the life of the engagement. And that's kind of how games work really well. And then that game theory kind of bleeds into, how do you engage kids these days if they play so many video games? You could, one option is to structure your way, not Duolingo. Duolingo actually doesn't do this as much, because otherwise they would be introducing a new feature systematically. So for example, section 1, all simple clauses. Section 2, all compound clauses. Section 3, all conditional compound clauses. Section 4, answer and response. Section 5, like, so they would do like a systematic step up, right? But that's not what turns out what Duo does. However, there's a lot of other things going around. So, and this section has not really changed too much. The most recent thing was adding a review writing. However, the writing itself is still the same exercise. So, not too much. All right, I've digressed a wee bit for today. Like the can be used with an adjective like 红色的, yeah, which funny enough, akai no or kuroi no is similar to, although there's nothing after. Or actually you can have something, you can modify the noun. Oh, because you haven't used it with E or non-adjective. I see. Yeah. Anyways, it's a thinking process. I think it is very, very healthy. And very important. So what is the take-home message of the end? I think the hot take here, right after the 30 minutes of digression, is that I think someone's life benefits, quote unquote, benefits significantly is the word I would use. Like noticeably, significantly from knowing your own cues, knowing your own cues of complacency. This is significant in the terms of learning. Like I want to qualify a little bit so it becomes less hot. You know, I want to chill out this hot take a little. So, one thing that I have often focused on after like a month or 2 months or 3 months, how do you stay focused? Like, how do you stay motivated on what seems like the same thing? The idea is that if you understand, in my opinion, in the beginning, if you understand what your cues are of how you're complacent, oftentimes that gives you the first opportunity or the earliest possible opportunity to address what the complacency is. Once you become too complacent, in my opinion, there is a threshold. When you cross that complacency, right? Mine is like at the 20% mark. It's arbitrary. You fill these out. So there's no answer. Like there's no specific details for any one person. You have to figure this out somehow yourself, right? You can use other people as inspiration to see if it's involved in it. Once I pass, once I diminish, right? Diminish below 20%, I start working on integrating. I start working on doing the other stuff. So the whole time when I'm doing this, I'm planning, right? I'm brainstorming on my free time. What am I going to do next? Like, what is the next thing I would try to bring into my learning process the moment I get to this point? As in, there's no rush. You want to be patient. And the idea is you'll be ready when the thing gets, quote unquote, boring. And boring not in a negative or positive way. What happens is it gets normal. The thing becomes normal. And when you're normalized, when everything is normal, in my opinion, you learn less. You just learn less. There's no way around it. Because things are normal. They're not interesting anymore. You don't look at your doorknob that you open every day after like 2 days. If you replace the doorknob, you might notice the doorknob for like a month. I mean, some people might notice it for like a week, and then the doorknob is no longer interesting anymore. So that's the idea. And I'm doing it with learning. And I do this pretty much all the time. When I was studying science, that's what I did. I had to change something so that it doesn't feel like I'm constantly reading the same thing. You know, you start generalizing. I think one of the biggest cue from a person that's listening to other people is how often they repeat something in a different way. So when someone says, oh yeah, you know, I really like the way this looks, and then, oh, the colors are nice, and oh, I like the shape of this, and then what happens is, okay, so you focused a lot on the visuals of this thing. Have you tried focusing on the sound of the game you like? Because many times, most of the things you find interesting is of one quality. So that kind of thing. So one of the quote unquote hacks, life hacks, is not really a hack. You spend your due diligence writing things down, right? Writing things down. If someone asks you, write an essay about your observations regarding a thing that you spend more than 2 hours a day doing every day, which is for me, Duolingo. I spend more than 6 hours on Duolingo. So when I write that essay to myself every month or so, I see things that I do very often, and those things are the things I address first. Like, am I competent enough? Is it efficient enough? Have I become too efficient? When you become efficient, it's great. That means you have more time. Put something else on top, right? Do something else on top of that. You're really efficient now. Doing more of the same thing, I would argue, will accelerate your disinterest. It will cause you to burn out. You'll be less interested. And usually, a lot of times when people say, I've burned out, is when they reach the critical mass point where everything falls apart. As in, your entire disinterest is of the bigger thing, not of the smaller thing. So, before you get there, you can address the smaller thing. And I think addressing smaller things are are less volatile, right? Yesterday I was talking about addressing smaller things, about habits, like atomic habits. So you're tweaking the small things as they're coming about, as opposed to waiting for the big thing. Like, what's a good one? I hate Duo now. Whoa. For myself, to get to this point, there's got to be at least 30 cues before I get to the point where I hate something. Like, there's got to be at least 30 details before I develop a hate for Duolingo. So when someone says, oh yeah, I don't use Duolingo anymore, and I would ask them, okay, so why not? Why haven't you used Duolingo? It's like, oh, it just didn't work. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, just didn't work. Is just didn't work mean one big thing, which it sounds like one big thing, or 40 little things piled up together, right? Usually I'm the latter as the former. If someone summarizes and generalizes things, they're already over it. You're not. So as if someone is asking me for advice how they can be successful with something, I honestly think that the first thing, one of the earliest things, is to understand how you micromanage, how you manage your interest in the first place. When someone says, oh, I already tried Babbel, I already tried MAKU, or whatever, Pimsleur and Anki, none of them work. What I heard was you tried one big thing, two big things, three big things, but they're all separate big things. They're not 40 things when you say Anki. They're not 40 more things when you say Duolingo or Babbel. So what happens is, whatever product I recommend or whatever I use, it's going to be discarded as fast as you think about the things. So what does that feel like when you're talking about the current generation? Doom scrolling. Right? When you scroll, there's one content creator, right? That one content creator is summarized in that 30 seconds that your attention span can promote. And then when you swiped, that content creator is no longer relevant unless they show up again, right? So then it would be content creator number 2. And you swipe, 30 seconds later, these two might not be irrelevant. However, if it goes back to content creator 1, then that person gets an extra 30 seconds. So now that's 1 minute. And so the more exposure you get to a very specific one, you remember them. Right? You remember them. And to me, that's how you describe retention and exposure. And that's a very rudimentary way of describing how algo eventually gets someone to become attached superficially, parasocially, to a person, to a content creator, eventually. Because the algo will filter and expose you based on how much exposure the content has. So that content creator with more exposure will come up more frequently in your exposure. But that exposure is passive. You have 30 seconds to form an active engagement in the process. That's not long enough to think of the stuff as more than one thing. It can't become 40 nuanced things if your attention to it is less than 30 seconds or less than a minute. Now YouTube Shorts, for example, have a longer format. So does TikTok, like 3 minutes, maybe tops. And what happens, in my opinion, is now you're wondering, what does this have to do with language learning? And this is going to be the punchline. I don't want, please take this with a grain of salt. I don't think our youngins and the generation is doomed or anything. I think it's going to be a change in the future. When you normalize that, now try to learn something. Right? Now ask yourself, you have a generation who's used to that type of engagement, quote unquote engagement, right? That is what most people refer to now as brain rot. Their brain isn't literally rotting, in my opinion. Like, I want to disclose that. You're not getting dumber or like losing a capacity you don't have. I don't want to give that type of foreboding. The thing is, what's normal is how they acquire something, right? How they acquire knowledge. But the problem, that what makes it seem like it's brain rot, is because most of the techniques and things that make you sustainable as a learner is being diminished by the way you're engaging with the generational content. So why does Duolingo not work for a lot of people, or anything not work? Requires an awareness of how you're engaging with content in the first place. Like, how can I sit here and talk about these characters for like 3 hours? It's largely because I'm not normalizing engaging things for less than 30 seconds. I don't get anything out of 30 seconds. In fact, I did this experiment on myself, and I spent about a month trying to learn from shorts. Some days I felt like I learned absolutely zero, as actually to even zero, to the point where I didn't even know if I liked the content. Because by the time I start forming a thought, the new thing hits you. The thing is, though, when you step back and you think about the whole day, right? You think about the whole day of content, you can summarize it in like 3 words. One day, I just doom scrolled on like a specific account, like on a separate account, and for 30 minutes, and I could summarize it in 3 words. Sigma, face, funny. That's all I got. For a solid 30 minutes. of hyper aggressive scrolling, all I got was Sigma, face, and funny. Do I get anything from Sigma? No, not really. Face? I mean, I have a face. Was it funny? Okay. So in 30 minutes, I've learned nothing. I've learned that people can make funny faces and make other people smile, right? That's useful. It is useful. The thing is, it's not useful for me, right? So now you're going to learn. Now we put that ourselves in that mindset. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who spends 3 to 4 hours. Usually the most useless content is the most now if you're feeling really bad, like there's usefulness in it, but I think most of the people who use it is out of passive routine. So they're no longer useful. Like to them and to me, I'm no longer useful. If I'm happy and I'm really excited and motivated, I learned nothing. I learned 0 because it's not useful for me. When you're sad, depressed, alone, quote unquote lazy, like you want to feel good, it's useful because it provides dopamine, right? I'm going to put dopamine in quotes. So emotionally, those are very useful. And the downside is it's a band-aid, right? It's a band-aid. It helps you address sad, depression, alone, laziness, perhaps. It's very comforting. However, it doesn't produce a solution. Like it doesn't produce a solution or a proactive way of saying, wait, but I could solve these things. I could reduce my sad, alone, laziness. So therefore, it creates less of a dependency on passive consumption. I can step away most of the time because the moment I scroll for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm thinking, well, I could have been practicing for 10 or 15 minutes. So because I'm healthy, I'm happy, I have things that are interesting to me, I have things that I want to do for myself. Now that's the mindset that have to break, right? Like that's my social experiment. My social experiment is if someone talked to you, if you met someone and they're like, I'm not doom scrolling right now, how do I talk to this person? The odds are the first thing you probably want to do is address if they have any of these things. Like ask them, hey, how's your day? Did you hang out with anybody recently? Like, what did you do? Did you hang out with friends, family? Oh, by the way, happy holidays. Like, it's a nice time to hang out with friends and family, right? And they could say something like, no, I just chill and play video games alone. It's like, well, what about your family? What do you do? If you're hanging out alone, what do your parents do? Or what do your friends want to do? Maybe you would like to join them or something. And then the alternative is to ask about their satisfaction, but not directly. Like concern about them, saying like, well, how do you feel today? Like, did the video games make you happy? Like, why do you vibe to video games? Like, what are you doing, right? So why are you doing that? That kind of thing. And what happens, in my opinion, is to encourage them to either say yes or no, explain that, and ultimately, I think to me, causing them to engage with themselves. Gives a little bit more merit to asking, do you need this now? You can keep eating, if sugar makes you feel good, you can keep eating sugar, or you can require sugar less. You can choose to be dependent on the sugar, or use the sugar as a form of reward, a concentration form of reward, right? So those are the things that deals with learning anything now. Like, how do you regulate that? And I digressed long enough, but there's more. There's more about that. I think about it pretty much every day, largely because I wouldn't be as effective personally and happy about learning things, and even things that I don't think are fun or interesting, and yet I learn them and then eventually find them fun and interesting and important, is largely due to the nature that there is something to be learned, there's something to be discovered. And then when I go to vibe, I choose when I need to vibe. As in, when this stream goes off, I am in vibe mode. I go play video games, I get my dopamine, I check out and hang out with my friends, I talk to them, banter. I don't necessarily have to learn anything because I've done my learning for today, that kind of thing. So lately, I found myself, this is the way to counterbalance the increasing volume that I need to do for learning. The greater my learning volume grows, the greater my reward center requires things to offset it, right? Not the other way around, where you're overloading on reward and hoping one day you pick up something to use all of that excess energy, right? It's not going, it rarely happens. You get more energy, quote unquote, more good stuff, or exchange some of that good stuff to pick up some stuff that requires that energy, right? The chances are, and for all intents and purposes, the human condition would choose the path of least resistance most of the time, unless you're framing it a different way, but kind of hand-wavily similar to mine. The idea is investing in something that requires energy will then eventually produce more reward, right? That's the framework. And hasn't really happened yet, although the people around me feel the same way. So my friends and I, we don't feel that way most of the time. It's kind of one of those things. Oh yeah, this is going to take up my time. Okay, what else is it going to do? No, nothing else. It's going to take up my time, so I'm not going to do it. Like, all right. I mean, it's your prerogative. I'm not here to insist on anything. Largely, when someone says they have a problem, my first inclination was, okay, let's go solve it. Let's do it right now. No time like the present. And their thought would be like, oh, wait. Let me chill and vibe and build up so that I'm ready to solve that problem. So I'll wait. I'll wait till the day you feel like you're ready. That day may never come. So you have to be anticipating that, right? For me, when someone asks me a question and I don't know anything about it, right? I actually literally said this to a friend in recent days. When someone asks, oh, hey, do you know anything about this? And it would be something I have no idea what it is, and they have no idea. Your first thought would be, I think the vast majority of people would say, oh, I guess you could go look on Google and like Google that, and that's it. That's the end. That's their investment. Even a friend, that a common normalized behavior, it's not bad or good. This is the normalized, at least in my opinion, the safer normalized behavior. Oh, you can probably Google it and look it up. And then that would be the end of the discussion. My take is, it's a personal friend of mine, right? Hey, you know what? I don't know anything about this, but let's just solve it together. The both of us, all right, we're committed to each other, right? Let's work together. So immediately, it's a very different situation now, right? Oh, there does. So let me end on that, right? If I have personal friends, people that have invested in me, when they ask for help, I don't need to know how to help them. We can discover it together. That is a way different process than knowing the answer and giving the answer, or knowing the answer and teaching how to get to the answer. That's an alternative. But if you don't know it, then you can learn together, right? I am ready for that. I don't have to build myself up to be ready to do that. If you're not at a net positive, then probably working on that is probably a very recommended place, right? I drop things because I can. People drop things because they're sacrificing something, right? Like, oh, I could help you, but I really want to get through my TikTok scrolling for today. Oh, I would help you, but it takes 3 hours for me to coop enough dopamine for the day. And I'll help you next time. 1 month later, it's like, oh, I'll help you, but now I need 3 hours and 30 minutes of dopamine before I'm ready to help you with anything. Right? And then now you're testing the limits of how long someone is going to wait, and someone's bottom line is eventually it'll become egregiously high that your probability of getting out of the vicious cycle will be too high to escape other than taking extreme measures. And you might be thinking, oh, no, like really extreme measures? No, it's turning off TikTok. To a person that doesn't have a problem with this, right? To a person that's not caught in that vicious cycle, the answer is like, whoa, that's no big deal. It is a big deal. When someone feels like they need 4 hours of doom scrolling before they approach an activity that they may not want to do, right? So that is a big deal to them. And to someone like myself, I could say that without empathy, but generally speaking, I see where the attraction is. Let you know, something in my mind. I know without being a little teaser or anything, I'm writing these things all the time. Like I want to see where it goes. But anyways, that's the story, the short story, pocket short story that I had for today. I watched a bit of like doom scroll content, and there was a lot of like Sigma face stuff on my algorithm right now. So that was my thought. Literally, that's what makes me think of it. I was watching how people like make their faces, the chat face and all that stuff. And when I was consuming that, I was getting nothing, but I was thinking about something else. I was thinking what it meant to me, like what it means to other people. What is the function of all this content? Who is this content targeting? What does the creator think they're doing for their viewers? And how I even have trouble understanding if I made content like that. For example, I would put in the shoes. How would I feel about being known for just doing that, right? So it becomes more personable. I try to make even the most quote unquote brain rotting things, I think outside of them. So that I don't think that's natural anymore. I don't think that's a normal response for a lot of people. They consume the content, they are told what to do. If that person in the video smiles and laughs, generally speaking, the vast majority of people either smile or laugh or blatantly disagree with them without any really defined reason why they blatantly disagree. Right. Oh, there, Dusk. How goes it? I'm just ending my Japanese lesson. I figure I share a little. This is that section where I end the section, but I wanted to share a little story here and there. I like that. This is part of my like language learning routine nowadays. So we talked a little bit about how I'm addressing some of the pitfalls of using Duolingo for a very long time. For me, what pitfalls I see in myself, which it's not really because of the way Duolingo is designed, because I'm putting in more hours than I would say an average person who uses this device or this application is. So I noticed these things and it got me thinking how I'm gonna try to change it up and whatnot. And that's largely due to how well apps do things. And apps are very similar to like TikTok scrolling and that type of thing. Anyways, for now, let's end it here for our Japanese lesson, leaving us 2 hours for the Chinese one, right? So, with that said, for those people who are only interested in Japanese, I mean, hey, no judgment from me, you do you, man. Not okay. I'm okay. Yeah. I'll do that. I'm not entirely sure if that idiom. Yeah, I'm not sure if that hit the same for me when you said that. Okay, so if you're gonna watch this later, arigatou gozaimasu, right? For people who are only interested in Japanese, mata ne, ya ne minasan, right? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go up, take a bathroom break, get some glucose. I'll be back for my Chinese lesson. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for listening. And I'll be back.